Hey, welcome to A Foreigner in the Philippines. Well, now that we are under community quarantine, how has it affected our lifestyle? Well, it has affected our lifestyle because now I actually can sometimes get to sleep in until maybe 8 o'clock. So there have been some pluses, but what the community quarantine really boils down to is that they're asking you to observe some pretty common sense things. So out there is this dreaded virus, and who knows, it's flying around, either sneezed out by somebody who's has leapt off a boat when they're not supposed to and managed to get abroad, and now here, and they're sneezing on everybody. And in one video that I saw that some woman there who felt that she had been badly done to was going in the lift and sneezing on all of the buttons. And so people do strange things when they feel that they've been badly done to. But what's the difference that it's made to Beth and I is that we've actually stopped going out every day, and what this means is that we're having to find a different way of living, and we're going back in many ways into how we were living before. When I was working every day, I would get up and I would work on building the house, and we lived at Nanai's house. Well, of course, we still live in a way. We still live between our house and Nanai's house anyway, because every day we go down there and we have dinner as a family. Like tonight, we had dinner. Beth and I, Taliklik and Bibi and Nanai and Vek, and so we have dinner as a family there every evening anyway. So that will just continue, and it will never really change. There are some things that will not change, and I wouldn't want them to change. Our little red house is up a step. It's up another 10 feet, so we have to walk up some steps to get to our house, and it's on a slightly different level. Well, we do that. We leave the cars. The trucks are all parked under the overhang that we put up there, like carport. Call it a carport, and that's where we leave the vehicles. Now, we always have a prayer said over us, over Beth and I, whenever we go out. When we go out in the car, prayer is said over, grace is said over our meals, and Nana is in charge of that. And if you don't want to be machine gunned, you'd better, you know what I mean. So I wouldn't want to change that. I've fit right in with that now, and it seems great to me. So those things will not change. We haven't gone crazy trying to go out and buy huge amounts of food. I think here in the province, unlike perhaps a Westerner who is living down the road from, say, Costco, will be quite used to going in, and they even have those huge carts that they can pack big boxes of stuff on. So it's nothing for someone who has a membership of Costco to go in and buy, I don't know, a box full of 50 cans of whatever. It's not unusual, and this is something, if when anybody ever shows Beth a picture of what an American refrigerator looks like, she has trouble believing what she's seeing, and also the refrigerators seem very small to Beth here. Well, our refrigerators are small, but compared to what Beth is used to, they seem big. We went round to buy a refrigerator that we were going to give to the dormitory, and the refrigerators are nothing like the size of America. Well, even in the UK, they're not that big either. Americans have like their big refrigerators, big cars, big refrigerators. So our lifestyle is now that we're finding different things that we're going to be challenged for. I can see there's a grave danger that we might even end up with a kitchen, because I'm going to get a couple of guys over, and they're going to cut the granite that we bought. I bought I think it was three big pieces of granite, which were so incredibly cheap that we bought them thinking that we would put them on the worktop in our future kitchen. Cost a fortune if we were in America or we were in the UK. I'm sure that those pieces would have cost 3 or 4 times what we paid here for them. So we got those on a great deal at my friend Edgar's hardware store, and I've been waiting for possibly Rado and Julio to come in and just use the big angle grinder and cut those things down. And it's a two-man job because one has to be squirting water onto the area that's being cut through. So I don't want to do that, so we'll give that work to Rado and Julio probably. So that's going to get done. But I'm also thinking we wanted to make the Big Blue a lot safer for the picking up of the kids that we do on Sundays. So we really want to put a roof, a solid roof onto the cargo area of the Big Blue, and the way that we were thinking of doing that was to get friend and mechanic Nestor to weld that up, and that's work that he does very well. But he told us it was going to be I think 10 or 11,000 plus for the materials alone to do that job. 10 or 11,000 pesos. There's no point in saying, oh my god, in dollars that's nothing, because we're not in dollars, we're in pesos. So I'm thinking that probably what we will do is we'll buy a welder, a stick welder, and I'll do that work myself. That will be an interesting project because I haven't actually done welding for a long time, and I was never that proficient, didn't have to be that proficient at stick welding, because I did gas welding with oxyacetylene, and it's a different technique, and that was what I used to use when I was doing projects in the UK. So now I got to reacquaint myself, and I've been looking at YouTube how-to, and of course YouTube, you can find out how to do anything on YouTube, short of brain surgery and rocket science. It's all there, and probably even rocket science. I seem to remember, and I'm meandering a bit now, but I seem to remember that there was one young boy, a junior, a minor in America, learned how to make a nuclear device so, by looking at what was being shown in tutorials on YouTube. Well, we're not thinking of a nuclear device, so stick welding will be comparatively easy compared to that. So we're going to do that. That will open the way to making some interesting videos, how to, because I always think that any video that takes someone from not being able to do something and then showing that with a reasonable aptitude for being able to put things together, they can learn to do it. You know, that was the basis upon which I did the desk that I made for our office, although in that particular case I used to be I was a furniture maker in California, and I did quite well at that, but I was self-taught then, so even then it was something that I'd learned to do. Well, the first start of the project for doing the roof over of both of our trucks, the little red and the big blue, and the first step on that will be to do some drawings, and even there you will be able to look at what's being done, and I won't go off secretively and practice until until I have it all down and then look as if I did it straight off. I'll show you what it looks like when you do the first rough sketches. Now, personally, I'm much more comfortable with doing conceptual drawings, conceptual art, rather than trying to do blueprint type of drawing, where every line has to be perfectly straight and all of that. No, that's not so enjoyable for me. So I do reasonable conceptual drawings, which when I was making furniture I always did conceptual drawings, because people are able to relate to those much easier. And I know that architects learn to do drawings which are representative of what the building says. Excuse me, well, I'm getting the hiccups. They make the building look like a building, so it's something that is a conceptual drawing, albeit with straight lines. So we'll be doing that as well, and hoping to start that maybe tomorrow. We finally got all three vehicles are now running. Of course, the Raptor has never been a problem, and the blue was a head gasket. For those of you who are interested, it was a head gasket. The head gasket has been replaced. I'm just hoping that that they did do something about see, normally if a head gasket goes, then it would be something that would have to be attended to. Now, we were supposed to have had a new head on that with the other mechanic. Nesta tells me that maybe it wasn't new, that it was what they call a surplus. So we all learn these lessons, don't we? I can't say that I can brag about being the luckiest of people when it comes to buying used vehicles, and especially out here in the Philippines, where they tend to run a vehicle until it breaks and then they repair it, whereas of course with the case of the Raptor we had a preventive service, and in that service, in the case of the Raptor, it needed a new injector. Well, we didn't wait until the injector completely messed everything else up. They replaced the injector, and that's the way that it really should be, preventive servicing. So we're looking at doing different things, doing different videos, and we're really trying to, even though we will be telling you how the virus, the coronavirus is affecting our lives, obviously everything that we're doing now is as a result of being under quarantine. So we picked up our kids in the blue today, and we picked them up and we told them that this will be the last time that we'll be picking them up and bringing them into the church, simply because it means that we're packing 10 and 15 and sometimes 20 people into the blue in order to get them to church. And of course they're actually promoting the idea now as a common sense thing that obviously this doesn't work with families, but generally speaking you should be keeping a slightly greater space between you and the next guy. So you go and sit in restaurants, you're really trying to not to be next to somebody, because that's when it's easiest. Touch is going to happen, and that's when the infection spreads. So staying at home and not going out like we always did before, I'd always get cabin fever and just want to go out. We're not doing that now, and we expect that will produce some plus benefits, which we'll share. Thanks for looking in. This is A Foreigner in the Philippines. Bye for now.